I've looked at a lot of 4-bay NAS units, and I've looked at a couple 2-bay NAS units, but Ugreen has decided to make the DXP 4800 GT available in the USA. That's very similar to their other 4-bay NAS unit, except instead of Intel, this one has an embedded AMD Ryzen R2514 CPU. It's not quite as fast, however, you can still do some virtual machines and stuff with that, no problem. You can have those running in the background while everything else is going, but it has one major upgrade: dual 10 gigabit Ethernet and plenty of options otherwise. It's also really just aesthetically pleasing to look at. So we've got a 4-bay model, the 4800 GT, and we also have a 2-bay model, the 2800 GT. They're both the DXP 2800 GT and the DXP 4800 GT. So it's very similar, except one's 2 bays, one's 4 bays. Except it's not just 4 bays, you also have M.2. So with the 4-bay model, you got a couple M.2 slots. Let's talk about, first off, why I like to recommend Ugreen, and then we'll talk about what's special about these units, how they compare to some of the others on the market. So when it comes to recommending Ugreen, it's been very easy for me lately because of a few different reasons. Number one, they don't lock you down to anything. It comes with the Ugreen OS, which I recommend, and I think you should probably run a Ugreen OS. You can pretty much do anything you want with it now, and I like it better than the stuff the competition is giving us because they're locking their stuff down, putting weird things behind paywalls and saying like, hey, if you don't use our hard drives, the NAS won't allow you to have certain functionality, which is just absurd. And they also a lot of other companies lock their NASs to a certain operating system. They like hard lock them. You can't install anything else. But with Ugreen, they're computers. They're like, install whatever you want. You know, you want to install a different operating system entirely? Do it. You want to install Linux? Do it. You want to install, I don't know, Unraid or something? Do it. Whatever. You want to install Windows? Are you crazy? Do it. You can do it. They'll let you do it. And since the operating system is on a separate 120 gigabyte internal storage that's not something you touch, you can install it onto one of the other M.2 slots, your other alternative operating system, and then just switch back and forth later. Let's give you a quick look at the specs here on the NASync DXP 2800 GT. So that one has the 2 drive bays, plus we have 2 NVMe SSD bays. So they both have the NVMe. The CPU is the AMD Ryzen R2514. So it's 4 cores and 8 threads. Comparing the AMD to the DXP 4800 Pro, well, that one has the i3 and that one has 6 cores, 8 threads. It has 6 real cores. Some of those are efficiency cores and 2 of them are performance cores, but for just general virtual machines, it's going to be similar. But the Intel will have a little bit of an edge if you're running multiple virtual machines. The AMD will have an edge for using lower power, you know. Comes with 8 gigabytes of DDR5. It's expandable up to 64. On the back, we have a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. We got USB Type A, 2 of those. We got USB-C, 10 gigabits, and then USB 2.0. for your mouse, keyboard, whatever, just basic stuff. We also have a 4K HDMI. The dimensions are 23.2 by 11 by 17.9 centimeters. In American, it's like a hamburger and a banana long and about 4 pieces of lasagna high. Sorry, I threw some Italian measurements in there. All right, so when it comes to the 4-bay, well, it's going to have the same specs other than the fact that you got a couple extra bays, really, and that extra 10 gigabit Ethernet port. So you have more ports and plus an SD card slot in the front. So it's just, how many ports do you need? If all you need are 2, ports for regular hard drives, probably running one, I guess, hard drive for just regular use and the other one for parity. So you can do that with the 2-bay, but you also have those 2 M.2 slots. They also have mentioned that we have native U.2 support right on the sleds themselves. All right, so let's go ahead and teach you how to install some drives. It's actually so easy that I don't even want to do it, but it's, yeah, the sleds come out, you pop them open, and it's just like a little button on the back that says push. You set the hard drive in there, no screws or tools required, and then you press it back together. I'm doing this vertically like this, so you see the hard drive go in there. Don't do that. Lie it down flat when you're doing this, so that way when you put the hard drive in there, it doesn't fall out or anything like that. I don't want you to drop your hard drive. So I'm just doing it like that for display purposes, for demonstration purposes. Stop making videos for a little while and I forget everything. So getting everything installed is so easy. You just use the Ugreen app. If you're on the same network, just get on your home Wi-Fi or whatever on your phone, plug this in, turn it on, and then there it is. It'll just show up on your phone. So you can go through the entire process there, but I'm going to do it on my computer just to show you what it's like. All right, this is the Ugreen software. Now what you want to do is just click on new device registration if it doesn't come up immediately, and it should just scan your network and find your NAS. And now we can name your device whatever. You've done this a million times, haven't you? Maybe go above and beyond medium, but I'm doing medium for me for demonstration purposes. I actually recommend binding your email address. And the reason that I do this is because if something goes wrong or a hard drive goes bad or whatever, you're going to get an email from your NAS as soon as that happens. And trust me, you want that. You want to know as soon as something goes wrong. I don't like to automatically install everything, but if you're a power user like me, you probably want to be notified and then decide when to update stuff, when you're not using the NAS or whatever. All right, let's go ahead and start. That was quick and easy. So the first thing you want to do is set up your storage pool. You want to select those hard drives that I put in there. There we go. Got all 4 of those selected. If you also put in other, storage devices, you can set those up separately, like M.2 or something. So the ones that I'm going to look at are RAID 5 and 6. RAID 5 is for, I'd say, about 90% of the people out there. It means that one drive can fail and you're going to be totally fine. You just swap out that drive and keep going. So you have 3 drives worth of space and then 1 drive for data protection. There you go. RAID 6 is half and half. I've never had more than 1 drive fail, but if you want to be really secure, you can do this. 2 drives of protection and 2 drives for storage. I'm going to do RAID 5, hit next. BTRFS allows you to do snapshotting and all kinds of things that will just help data integrity. It's going to format all those hard drives. There we go. Look at that. It said ready to go down here. There's our volume. Volume 1. Now after that, you can just click down here and it's like, hey, you want to create some shares? I'm going to go ahead and click on start to create some shares. Now the shares are going to be the folders that you use to find all of your stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start there. But yeah, you can have a personal home folder for every user that you set up on here. But we got shared folders here. And with shared folders, we can push plus right here. And we're going to do a create a shared folder. And I'm just going to call this, let's call it media. And we'll put it on our volume 1, of course. And I'm going to, enable recycle bin. There we go. Create that. I'm going to give read and write access to my admin. You can set this up for different access for everybody. And then I'll set up another one here and we can start doing stuff with them. If you want to set those up in Windows, well, what you're going to need to do is get the IP address of your NAS. And mine is 206. Press Windows key R for run. That'll bring up this. Now type whack whack. And it's 172 for me, 16.16.206. And if it's not working, well, that means I don't have my file services enabled. So click on File Service, enable SMB, which allows it to work with Windows. Click Apply, because that's what happens if you don't. Now we can do it again, and check that out. There's our 2 shares. You can map these by right-clicking, and then going down to Map Network Drive, and then just pick a place. I'm going to put it in my K drive. How about that? And if you're on Linux, it's very easy. All you have to do is set a hula hoop on fire and jump through it 16 times while holding a seal. All right, so the next thing I like to do is click on App Center right here, agree. And right up at the top, they have the common software that we can install. It's a bundle with backup, photos, music, theater, and our cloud drives right there. This is what I believe every NAS should pretty much have. And we can take a look at all the different apps that they have that are official now. They got a BitTorrent app on here that's official, which is kind of cool. Docker, Sand Manager, let's sling some loans around. We got a text editor we can install, Security Vault, all kinds of cool stuff. All right, I'm going to go ahead and install virtual machines as well. This is plenty powerful enough to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just get a virtual machine going and let that run in the background, just so it's running the entire time I'm doing everything else to show you how fast it is. So there we go. So we can import virtual machines from our other NAS devices, or we can come over here and just upload an ISO, which I'm going to do right now. All right, so let's get CachyOS. There we go. And just let it upload. See, there we go. It's importing. All right, cool. There we go. And we can just close this out and it'll be available to select right here. Pick a volume where we're going to put the VM data, and then it's Linux, of course. Let's give it 2 cores and we'll give it 4 gigabytes of memory there. Now this is, it's going to balloon because it's Linux. So it's not always going to be just using 4 cores. It's not going to use them up. It'll just tell the VM, hey, there's 2 cores available. All right, disk, virt.io. Sure, we'll give it 20 gigabytes. Why not? It already created our bridged Ethernet. So it says we're not connected. Make sure we click on the one that is connected if you only have one of them connected. I'll go over here and I'll show you some of the additional settings we have under the advanced. I'll just scroll down so you can see, but you got your USB controllers, auto start on and off. I can put that onto on if you want to, and just tell it where to start. You can set it up for snapshots, good old BTRFS stuff. Now that is installing over there. It's a version of Arch, so I just let that do its thing. All right, the launch screen for CachyOS and opened right up. Let's go ahead and launch the installer. Yes. I moved a bunch of media over here, some just anime, some movies, photos, music, whatever. And now we're gonna just start throwing it into our different applications here. This is the Theater app, and I'm gonna go ahead and just create some libraries. When you first open it up, it says create a library, so we'll do one for anime movies. And then you just add your folders. They can see your NAS. Here we go, anime movies, confirm, and save. There we go, it's already pulling the metadata that fast. That's doing its thing. The next thing I can do over here is just click on the cog in the top, and I can add some more libraries. Just yep. There we go. If you want to add data source, we've already got movie database. You can add your movie database API key. It's already doing a very good job of pulling stuff without that. But if you want to get like the full-on metadata from the movie database, you just click here and it tells you exactly what to do. So there we go. I added my API key. Now we can add some more libraries. Let's add one for just regular movies. Now we go back to our home page, and you can see it's already populating with all kinds of stuff. Here's our 3 different libraries: movies, shows, and regular movies. Click on that. There we go. Just pulling all the stuff. It grabs, pretty much all the metadata. Check that out. And you can reference stuff, like click on this. It'll show you the other movies that they're in. If you have a big library, this can be really cool. Like True Lies, for instance. Do we have any other Schwarzenegger? We got 2 things. We got the Running Man as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you want to watch this stuff, let's say you wanted to watch, I don't know, Kowloon Generic Romance. It was my favorite thing from 2025 anyway. So just grab an episode here. It opens up in a separate player. And you can play this if you're using the HDMI as well, but mostly it'll play over the network, or you can configure it to play on your devices or whatever. I'll turn that down. I'm skipping around, watch. Skips around just fine. Make it full screen. Skip here. Skip here. So this was a great anime, by the way. So yeah, it works just fine. Go ahead and close that out. Here we are back in the program, and I just can't believe how fast it grabs all the metadata. It's so much faster than my copy of Jellyfin. All right, that's good enough for that. Now, if you want to do the same thing with your photos, well, we've got photo library over here, and we can set up some libraries up. One of the interesting things you can do with the Photos app is add some different types of AI that might be useful depending on who you are. And these are not large language models that run, on the cloud and send your data to anyone. These are the stuff that just runs locally, and they say like, okay, this one's just going to detect people. They're just little models that are specific to the NAS that let you look for duplicate photos or look for pets or whatever. So I don't actually have, this is what I feel like AI should be used for, stuff like this, image recognition, looking for sensitive content. I don't really care about that. Now this will have to be, running in the background, and you sometimes need to let this run for a little while so that it can index. Let me show you how the AI search works here. So it's indexed about half of my stuff. And again, it's all local. It's not talking to the cloud because I downloaded the models and it's looking right here. So I just try a few things. Let's try dog. And look, it found all of the dogs. I always stop and take pictures of dogs. I don't do this with cats. So there we go. Check that out. What is this? What is going on there? So yeah, really cool. It even got the, oh, that's kind of terrifying. Let's just, go back. Look at that one. It's the fastest way. That's the fastest way to be happy, is just type dog. All right, it's only, like I said, about halfway finished. Let's see if it can do coffee. I don't know if it's finished yet. Oh, well, yes. What do you know? Got coffee shops. Really cool. Motherboard. What? It's extremely useful. So check that out. I just typed motherboard, and it got all these pictures that I took of some motherboards in Taiwan at I believe it's the tobacco factory. They converted into like this really cool retro, I don't know, artisan place. So with music, I can also set up some folders right here. Let's go ahead, click on the cog, and we're going to do a shared library, and I'm going to add a folder right over here in the media. I got a music folder, confirm. There we go. And now when we go back to library, it's going to immediately start populating. So there we go. Albums. It's going to take it, a second to pull all the metadata. It's just pulling it right now. Artists. So I'm very impatient, as you can tell. And so this will let you have access to your music, your MP3s, your AAC, your Opus files, your OGG, Vorbis, whatever, your FLAC collection on the go. We can set up different sync tasks. So let's show you what it looks like to create one. Now you can create a sync task with this computer or another Ugreen NAS. If you're doing it with this computer, the way you do it is use the software here, and then you pick a path on your computer, wherever that may be. All these scanned photos that I found, So I'm going to select that folder, select a path here on the NAS, and we can always make a folder right here. Set that up, and you can tell it to sync 2-way, 1-way, and that'll just sync up the folder with the one that's on your local computer. And if you want to do backup and restore, we also have that. We can create a backup task. And if you have a USB device plugged in, you can set up backup tasks from certain folders. You can upload to certain servers. So let's show you what we got there. We've got rsync and WebDAV if you want to do that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then other NAS products, other Ugreen NASs to get redundancy going. But I'd recommend, one of these two for backups. And then when it comes to syncing to the cloud, well, we've got cloud drives. do a new connection here and show you what we have so far. So we got S3, and we also got, Google Drive, some of the Chinese services like Baidu, and Microsoft. Plays just yet, but I'll keep bothering them about that. Your task manager is really elegant, in my opinion. Shows you everything that's going on. We've got our RAM right now, so even though we're doing all this stuff, we're only using 5.6 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, the video player's going in the background. So yeah, let me go ahead and stop that. And, mind you, in the background, the photos is, it's still pending recognition. It's still doing a bunch of stuff. So you can always look up here and see what's going on, different things happening. File services, not only do we have SMB, we also have FTP. NFS, that's going to be for Linux. You just map stuff to the Linux device's IP address. You've got rsync. We also have DAV support. There we go. So all kinds of stuff, pretty much all the standards there. I recommend leaving it off unless you're doing something specific, then turn it on. And you can even turn the buzzer, the fan, all that. I'm gonna leave that on auto, but if you have this, you're sleeping in the same room as this, tell it don't beep. All right, network settings here. You got both your different LAN ports. You can set up network bridging, virtual bridging right here. Here's our security. We got firewalls and account security, 2FA, and all that kind of stuff. Indexing, we can regenerate the index of our thumbnails, which will take a little bit of time. And then universal search to let it search for anything. Rebuilding an index, searching for everything on here. And we've got our applications here that we can add to our universal search. And then just got our about and our update and all that. All right, let's see what their Docker app is like. This is nice. Okay, so we got tutorials here for Docker usage, setting things up, setting up transmission downloads. Okay, setting up VeriSync, very cool. So projects, we can create containers, import them from our NAS. Okay, we got some stuff. We got Nginx, that's cool. Redis, Postgres, okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. 125, okay, so we got a lot of images here. Now the nice thing about Docker containers is they let you do tons of cool things, and they use a fraction of the resources of a virtual machine. So Docker really does go beyond the scope of this video, but just know that you can do all kinds of stuff with this. I've got 2 containers running right now. Got WireGuard and Pi-hole. You can come up here and grab your new containers, come down here to images, look through everything, set up projects right here. This is, again, going to require a bit of a tutorial if you've never used this, but you can go online and import things. You can import, from the NAS here, we've got an example for the YAML right there. Anyway, that's how it works. You can get that set up if you want to. It's far more efficient than running a VM. So as you can see, you can do a lot of stuff with it, and they've integrated AI correctly. Running on your machine, only for you, to help you find stuff on your device. So I like that. Really, if you're going to be running maybe 1 or 2, maybe even 3 VMs, you'll be just fine with this. You've got 2 of the 10 gigabit Ethernet on the back with the 4 bay, and 1 on the back with the 2 bay. So yeah, and that native U.2 support is really interesting. I don't have any U.2 to test, but I just saw it listed online, and I was like, hey, that's interesting. Overall, for most people, I think you could pretty much run your entire home network on one of these 4-bay units. I'm talking like all kinds of Docker containers, Pi-hole, whatever else. WireGuard is what I always use. Let me know what kind of containers you're running on yours. But you can pretty much run the entire thing right here on one of these. Plus you have all your storage right there as well. And I like keeping the Ugreen OS on there, but you can install whatever you like. So let me know what you think of the Ugreen DXP 4800 GT and the DXP 2800 GT. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you there.